Hello everyone, it's Marcus Dell'Olio from Mad Exotics once again, and I am back with some good news and some great news. The good news, we'll start off with that first. I'm going to stop making those Anaconda Eaten Alive review videos. I just feel it's a negative direction. I don't want to take that direction with my channel. I would like this channel basically to be about the good parts about the hobby, not only in the U.S. and Canada, but maybe a couple years down the road, maybe I'll be traveling, and that would be super cool to go see what happens in the future. There's my cat back there. So no more Anaconda Eaten Alive videos, review videos. It's actually going to be viewer request and things that I also think of, but it's basically just going to be a positive direction for the hobby to take. And I think if we focus on the positives, I don't think that we'll get too weighed down on the negatives, because I think that the positives of this hobby far outweigh the negatives. Now, on to today. We're actually going to do a viewer request video today, and it was sent in by Be More Scaly, and it's actually a request to show you what I've got in my collection. So that's what you're going to be seeing today in Mad Exotics. So this first part of my collection video is going to be taking place in my old bedroom. That's where the desert animals are. That's where the Australian animals are kept. And I'll get right to it. Ooh, so here in my hands, I have the male blue-tongued skink, which I decided to name Samson because he's pretty big and bulky, right? And I don't know his age, but I just love that tongue. That tongue is so cool. He's a northern blue-tongued skink, but he's a little bit light for a northern blue-tongued skink, which is pretty cool about him. And I'm actually looking for a girlfriend for him right now. So maybe he'll get lucky this spring. Maybe. I don't know. A little bit more info about the blue-tongued skink. I actually feed him high-quality, grain-free dog food, turkey and chicken. And that is what you feed a blue-tongued skink. He's really hungry right now. I just took his old food out of his out of his cage, and he's looking for some more food. He's looking for some more water because I'm cleaning his dishes as we speak. So here's Samson. Say goodbye, Samson. Oh! And here in my hands right now is this very cantankerous desert wing. That's his name. He's the same one that I showed. I can't remember in what video, but he had I was talking about how cool he looked, and he's still got those bars across his back, and he's still got those colorations underneath of his jaw that are like two orange V's. They're really cool. I'm actually not too sure whether it's a male or a female at this point. It was kind of showing me a little while ago that it was actually a female, but I might just be interpreting it wrong, and I'll check in a couple months anyways. So this is Desert Wing, still a juvenile. Hasn't been too long since I've gotten her though, or him. So yeah, and when I got him, actually one of his cage mates had actually bitten his tail off when he was a baby. And sorry if you're a female and I keep calling you a he, or you're a male and I keep calling you a she. So really beautiful animal. Unfortunately, their tail got lost, but doing great in this setup that I've got here. Dadgum, the dadgum daytime temperature in this room is like beyond human limit. You can't survive in here. It's so hot in here. At least it is for me. This is Canada after all, so not too used to this kind of temperature. But this is Desert Wing, and I'll get some of the other bearded dragons out. So this is Fluffy Buttons. He's a showstopper because of how pretty he is. And up in Canada, we don't really get this coloration of bearded dragon where I am. And he's very unique, very pretty, and one of the biggest bearded dragons one of the biggest normal bearded dragons I've ever seen. There's of course different locales and different morphs. There's the German giant, which I don't hear too much about anymore. I used to hear a lot about them. And apparently a guy down in Maine's got one. I heard a story about a guy down in Maine having a 3-foot bearded dragon. That seems a little bit crazy long, but maybe it's not. Maybe that is as big as they get. I haven't really researched German giants, but because I don't really anticipate on getting one. But this is, yay! And Fluffy Buttons is as big as he's going to get. I think he's got a big old gut on him right now because he just ate, but so I won't stress him out too much. But Fluffy Buttons is probably my most personable bearded dragons. The other one is just coming into maturity. He's a little bit, Desert Wing is a little bit iffy, and then my other one, Godzilla, has always been a little bit nippy. But Fluffy Buttons has always remained pretty calm, and the story about actually how I got him was I got him from a woman who just couldn't take care of him anymore. and she knew I loved bearded dragons, she knew I loved lizards, so she gave him to me. I got this little guy for free. How cool is that? He's very personable, and for some reason, he's best friends with my black cat, the one you saw in the video downstairs. I don't really understand that, but apparently we're his home where he came from originally. He was best friends with a black cat, so I guess he just figured, oh look, another black cat, my best friend again. So yeah, so he's living the high life here and getting kind of fat actually, but that's all right. Fat lizards are healthy lizards, not obese lizards, but fat lizards. So this is Godzilla, and he's always remained pretty lanky. I'm not really too sure why, but you know, after he eats, he gets kind of chunky, but he's always remained really lanky. I mean, I feed him quite often. I don't understand what's up with that. Maybe it's just different genetics for different lizards, right? But yeah, this is my oldest bearded dragon. I think he's getting upwards of about 10 years old now. He's a great animal. He's being really good today. He's usually kind of nippy, but sweet animal. Bearded dragons are what I recommend people getting into with a lizard at first, and of course stay away from sand because impactation and whatnot. But beautiful lizards, and not too expensive to feed, not too expensive to acquire if you buy a normal one. Some morphs, I've seen the whiplets and stuff like that, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. The pure white animals go for, you know, a lot of money, like $1,200. But this guy, I got him for $160 because he's in Canada where I am. I shouldn't say in all of Canada because it's not all of Canada. I've been to Quebec and I've been to Nova Scotia, and they're sold for much cheaper. But in New Brunswick, they're actually quite expensive still. You can only get a normal for about $130 now as a baby. So there's no guarantee that the animal's even going to survive when it's that young, and you're charging $130 for it. I know down in the States I've seen them sold for, you know, $30, and so that's that to me sounds like a good price for a bearded dragon. It's a starter animal, and man, are they ever gorgeous. Like, look at that head. Look at the head structure on that animal. He's kind of eyeing the camera right now, I think, because he's not moving his head. So he's focused on one thing. Bearded dragons are so cool. But this is Godzilla, my oldest bearded dragon, my first lizard, and the one animal that I always recommend to people who want first reptile of any sort. And I would just feel it's important to note right now that between species handlings, different species that I handle, I'll actually scrub my hands down with some antibacterial soap. So rub-a-dub-dub. So this is my ball python, Sunny, and she's a super sweet animal when she comes out, but right now she's a little bit skittish, and I think it's because I just kind of reached in and grabbed her up. But really sweet animal, really beautiful animal, as you can see, very healthy weight. I actually just got her a rat today, so she'll be eaten today. And these animals are pretty simple to care for. What I would advise with these animals, if you're a first-time reptile owner, is getting an adult female. That is the best I've seen with eating response and staying on food, even throughout the year. Now, I got out of ball pythons because of the grief that they were giving me. I couldn't get any of the babies to eat, and when I could get them to eat, they'd have to eat live, and I'm just not a really big believer in feeding my animals live. I have nothing against people who do feed them live, by the way. It's just something I would choose never to do. Perfectly harmless. It's great around kids. Now, I wouldn't leave a snake alone with a kid. I wouldn't leave a cat alone with a kid, and I wouldn't leave a dog alone with a kid. It's just something that I fear for the animal's well-being, basically. So, snakes, wonderful creatures. This is my ball python, Sunny, and I got her, and I named all of my animals kind of relatively harmless names. It's just something I do. A lot of my hognoses, Daisy, Buttercup, and Suzanne, I think, is the last one. And this one's name is Sunshine. I should have saved that name for an albino, but maybe I'll get an albino later on and call her Sunshine the Second or something like that.
The goalie jumps and the players bump and the fans all go insane. Someone roars, Bobby scores at the good old hockey game. Oh, the good old hockey game is the best game you can name. And the best game you can name is the good old hockey game. Second period, where players dash with skates of flash. The home team trails behind, but they grab